So we're going to be graphing systems of inequalities, which means we'll have two, maybe even three equations. In this class, we'll mostly focus when we have two equations. And what we're looking for is we're going to be basically making graphs like this, like we have been before. Sometimes they'll be solid if they have the or equal to part, and sometimes they'll be dotted like this. And if you remember from previous ones, sometimes we'd shade like this, right? And maybe this one will be shaded like this. So basically what we're doing in this problem is, if we just take two of these lines, one where it's shaded this way and one where it's shaded this way, there'll be one of the four areas where it's double shaded. Any point in this area means that it makes both of these equations true, and that's what we're looking for. So let's graph these and see if we can find that shaded area. So let's start with the one that's in slope-intercept form. So I'm doing this one right here. I'm going to start at 2, and my slope is negative half x. That means down 1 over 2 for forever. And this has the or equal than sign, so I'm going to be doing a solid line going through these points. This next one, and I'm going to do this one in black so we can see it a little bit better. This one, this is in standard form, so I'm going to graph it by finding the intercepts, right? So if the y's were no longer, right? If I plug in a 0 for y, what I've really got there left is 3x equals 24. So I divide the left side by 3, the right side by 3, and I get x equals 8. So that'll be my first point. So x equals 8 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I do the same thing, what if x equals 0, right? So now all I've got is negative 4y equals 24. I'm going to divide the left side by negative 4, divide the right side by negative 4. When I do that, I figure out that y equals negative 6. So negative 6 is right here. So my line is the line that goes through those 2 points. It's a dashed line because you'll notice I don't have an or equal than sign right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little dashed line that goes through there. And now I want to do the shading. This is the part, if you're messy like me, that's the trickiest part for these problems. I do it just like I did these other problems. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this point right here, 0, 0. It's a great point. I'm going to plug it into, let's do the blue equation first. If I get it, if 0, 0 makes this thing work, well then everything on this side of blue must make it work. If this doesn't work, well then everything on this side must make it not work. So I'm going to shade the other side. So it's really, those are my only two cases. So I plug in 0, 0. Once again, 0, 0 just because it's the easiest point to plug in, because this is just 0. So really it's 0 less than 2. Yeah, and of course 0 is less than 2. Since 0 is less than 2, I'm going to shade this point and every other point on this side of the blue line, right, must work. So I'm just going to shade this way. Right? I'm going to do the exact same thing, except for I'm going to do it for this line. And I'm going to use the same point. I'm going to plug in 0, 0. This is a bad greater than sign. So I get 0 minus 0 is greater than 24. So 0 is greater than 24. Nah, no, it's not. So since 0 is not greater than 24, I look at my line, right? Here is that line, huh? The black line. This is not true, so this green dot is not true. So everything on this side of the black line must not be true. So where am I going to shade? I'm going to shade on this side of the line. When you do these problems, this is like the most common result, right? You basically have these 4 areas where we can have an answer. And everything in this area seems to be kind of working. Right? So we can go ahead and shade that, make it a little darker. This area works for only the blue line. See how it's in the blue solution? And this one only works for the black one. And up here, well, that's the area where none of it works. So this is our solution. It's a whole area of answers to that system of equations.